Alright, so this is gonna be pretty different from the other videos you see similar to this, where they're like, this is how I did this, you should do exactly what I did. No, this is the opposite. Do not do what I did. Because the first time I tried bulking and cutting, I did it, I basically made it way harder than it needed to be. So this is more of a, don't do what I did, do this instead. So back my first time bulking, I was watching a lot of Sam Sulek, which, I mean, no disrespect to him, I mess with him, but back then his advice for like new lifters might not have been the best. So basically he had me thinking I had to bulk, dirty bulk with fucking chocolate milk, and I didn't even know what else, to 200 pounds, or else I'm scrawny, I like don't even count as a lifter, which I mean, he probably wasn't being literal about that, but I didn't know any better. So pretty much I did exactly that. I dirty bulked all the way to 220 pounds. I started at like 150, and I was fat as fuck. And what that ended up causing me having to do was I had to go on a cut for a year and a half, which was not fun at all. And it took that long because I could not stick to a cut for a year and a half, so I kept, falling off of it. So do not do that. What you should do is lean bulk, which is basically gaining like as much muscle as you can while trying to gain as little fat as possible. So you gotta find the sweet spot, because there's a certain amount of muscle that you can gain like in a period of time, and then after that the rest of the stuff you eat just turns into fat. So you gotta find the sweet spot to where you're building as much muscle as possible while also gaining as little fat as possible. Now also, when you're cutting, when I was cutting, the reason why I kept falling off of it was I was eating like canned chicken, the tuna packets, chicken and broccoli, horrible tasting meals. Like, it was terrible. I hated it. Now I know that there's way better tasting food that you can make that'll make you still feel like you're eating good food, but also still on a cut. Also, when you're cutting, you should not try to do an aggressive cut for an extended period of time. That's like, you're trying to get lean fast, get a little bit of body fat off of you. That's not for losing a bunch of weight, because that aggressive cut is not going to be sustainable. You're going to end up, falling off of it, eating a bunch, losing progress. So it's like, at that point you might as well go for a normal cut that you can sustain over a period of time, that you don't feel miserable on, and then it'll be like slow and steady pace instead of cutting a bunch, falling off of it, gaining stuff back, not being consistent. So yeah, if I was to go back and do it again, or basically what I do now, lean bulk, do not dirty bulk with the chocolate milk and whatever else Sam would say. I think he's a lot more like chill now with his advice, but anyways, lean bulk, gain as much muscle as possible while also limiting the amount of fat that you gain. Then when that's done, when you start cutting, don't think you have to eat these dry ass meals, dry chicken and broccoli, tuna. I don't even like tuna, but I was still eating it because I thought, that's what you do on a cut. No, now I eat like pasta, just not a lot of it. Burgers, just food that I like, but not out of control. you know, and you can make healthier versions of the food using like, you know, low fat ingredients, keto tortilla, you know, there's hacks and stuff. And what was the other thing I said? Yeah, and don't, you know, try to push the cut, you know, as hard as you can. Make yourself miserable, no energy. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna fall off of it. You're gonna start eating, you know, everything that you're craving, and then you'll be like, damn, I just gained back weight, so I just lost progress. You know, you should stick with a cut that you're gonna lose weight consistently, but also, you know, you're not miserable and you don't hate it, so that way you can stick to it for a long period of time and stay consistent.